Is Wolfgang Van Halen a good musician? Let's talk about it. Alright, so I recently did a video on Jason Bonham on whether or not he's a good drummer, which you can go check out after you listen to this video if you're interested. And in fact, I think Wolfgang faces an even rougher road than Jason Bonham, and I'm going to tell you why. First, I think we should listen to Wolfgang Van Halen himself talk about his experience of being Eddie's son. Here's a little bit of what he had to say about that.
A lot of people tend to hold against children of famous people.
Sure.
And it's like, I didn't choose to be here. I'm just kind of trying to figure out my way throughout this world like everybody else. So that can always be tough. I think people can have unfair expectations about someone that comes from somebody who they see before. I'm just trying to do my own thing and kind of just have a good time doing it.
Alright, so when he says that people have a lot of expectations, what he actually means there are a couple of important things. One is people expect you to sound like your famous parent, and secondly, they expect you to be as charismatic and have as much star power as your famous parent. Now, what if the case is that you're an accomplished musician, but you're not very charismatic? Or what if you have a really deep and abiding interest and talent for music, but you're not necessarily a revolutionary genius like Eddie? And so here I think that we can listen to Wolfgang Van Halen himself play a little bit, and then we can make a better assessment of where he stands as a musician. But before I do that, I'd like to remind you to like and subscribe to the channel. I upload new content basically every day, and we have a lot of really interesting discussions and polls going over in the community area of the channel, and you can vote on who's the best frontman, what was the best debut album, other subjects like this, and talk to a lot of other fans of classic rock music, and you can help us get to 800 subscribers. We're on an 800 subscriber drive right now. Alright, so now back to the topic at hand, which is Wolfgang Van Halen's ability as a musician. Right now, I'd like to listen to Wolfgang Van Halen play a little bit of guitar. Okay, now here we can listen to Wolfgang play a little bit of bass. Alright, so that was him playing the introduction to So This Is Love on tour with Van Halen. Now, out of those two clips that I played, you can make a couple of observations. The first observation is that, yeah, he can play like Eddie if he wants to, and there's a whole lot of other videos of him playing with the tapping style and in the manner of his dad. The second is that when he's playing the bass, his really aggressive and kind of a chunky approach to his sound, which really fits in with 90s music. It is a tone and an attack that is more suited from grunge era. The same goes for Wolfgang Van Halen's singing and his songwriting. So if you listen to his band Mammoth WVH, it doesn't sound a lot like Van Halen, and the main thing that's missing from Wolfgang's sound in his band in terms of being like Van Halen is that party, have a great time, David Lee Roth infused side of it. Wolfgang comes more from a 90s background, and his music is heavy and kind of brooding. It's nothing like what you would expect Eddie Van Halen's son to do, just like he doesn't look anything like Eddie Van Halen's son to look like on an ideal level. He's big, he's bearded, he's not super camera friendly like Eddie was. So if he came out and he was a great, innovative, mind-blowing guitar player like his dad, and he looked good on camera, and he had a great band, and they were playing happy party music, there's not an audience for it anymore. It's purely a nostalgia thing. So his father told him, I think that you should try to do your own thing, and I think Wolfgang is following that advice. He's doing his own thing. I think he does have some talent, but I think he and Jason Bonham both face an incredibly difficult obstacle in getting over the enormous legend and shadow that's cast by their famous parents. And as one of my viewers said in the comment on my video on Jason Bonham, well, he's a millionaire and he just wants to play his drums and have a good time. And I think if you listen back to what Wolfgang said, he's also implying, hey, look, I'm doing this because I want to have fun and it's something I can do. He is an accomplished musician, and if you're into the kind of 90s-esque grunge style hard rock, you might check out Mammoth WVH. All right, this is what I think, but what really matters is what you think. So if you have an idea about this or any other topic connected to classic or contemporary music, please drop it in the section below, and remember to like and subscribe. Thanks a lot.